From the icy fjords of Norway to the warm waters of Florida, here are the fishing spots every angler dreams of visiting. I've spent my life chasing shadows in the water, following whispers of monsters and legends. But sometimes, the legend isn't just the fish, it's the place itself. Our first destination takes us far north inside the Arctic Circle to a place of myth and staggering beauty, the Lofoten Islands in Norway. Here, mountains don't just meet the sea, they tear out of it jagged peaks of granite piercing the sky, their bases plunging into the deep, cold, nutrient-rich waters of the Norwegian Sea. For centuries, this has been the epicenter of one of the world's greatest fishing traditions, a pilgrimage for fishermen chasing the lifeblood of these waters, the skrei, the migratory Arctic cod. It's a place where man and nature exist in a raw, dramatic balance. In the summer, you fish under the surreal glow of the midnight sun, a sun that refuses to set, casting an ethereal golden light over the landscape for 24 hours a day. From the cold, clear waters of the north, we travel south to the sun-drenched heart of Spain, to a river that holds a true monster of the deep, the Ebro. This mighty river carves its way through the arid landscapes of Catalonia, and in its murky, slow-moving depths lurks a beast, the Wells catfish. This is not your average catfish. We're talking about a creature that can grow to over 9 feet long and weigh in excess of 200, even 300 pounds. Our next stop is a place of refined beauty and hidden depths, a stark contrast to the ruggedness of our previous locations. We're at Lake Geneva, or Lac Léman as it's known on the French side. This vast, crescent-shaped body of water is cradled by the Alps, Switzerland on one shore and France on the other. The scenery is simply breathtaking. But beneath that calm, placid surface lies a thriving and diverse ecosystem. But it's the deep, cold heart of the lake that holds the true prizes for the dedicated angler: massive lake trout, or truite lacustre, and the enigmatic Arctic char, a relic of the Ice Age. The traditions here are fascinating, a blend of Swiss precision and French joie de vivre. You see professional fishermen in their traditional boats, setting nets in the same way their ancestors have for centuries. They are a protected part of the lake's heritage. Fishing in Lofoten is a lesson in history and humility. You're participating in a tradition that has sustained communities for generations, battling the elements in the shadow of these colossal mountains. You feel small, but also part of something immense. It's not just about the catch, it's about the sheer spectacle of it all. The dramatic fjords, the unique light, and the deep, powerful connection to a fish that has shaped the destiny of a nation. It's a place that marks you, a memory etched in ice and stone. The pursuit of the whales is an exercise in patience and brute force. The local fishing culture here is vibrant and obsessive, waiting for the telltale scream of a bite alarm. When a whales takes the bait, there is no subtlety. It is sheer, unstoppable power. Landing one of these giants is a moment of pure, unadulterated triumph. To see a fish that large, with its vast, gaping mouth and long, serpentine body, is to come face to face with a genuine river monster. The clarity of the water is astonishing. On a calm day, you can see the bottom dozens of feet down, watching your lure work its magic. Fishing on Lake Geneva is a multi-sensory experience. It's the crisp mountain air, the gentle lapping of the water against the hull of the boat, the sight of Belle Epoque towns and ancient castles dotting the shoreline. There's a certain elegance to it all. It's a reminder that fishing isn't always about battling monsters in murky water. Sometimes it's about finding a moment of perfect harmony in one of the most beautiful places on Earth. We now travel to the Emerald Isle, to a river that is the very lifeblood of Ireland, the River Shannon. When a Shannon pike hits, it is an explosion of violence. You'll find warm, welcoming pubs in every town along the river, places where fishing stories are the local currency, and the crack is mighty. Our journey now takes us to a place that feels like it's been plucked from a fairy tale, the Sava Bohinjka River in Slovenia. This is a river of almost supernatural clarity. The water is so pure, so transparent. It has a turquoise glow. It's about achieving a perfect moment of harmony between angler, fish, and a truly unspoiled river. This mighty river carves its way through a landscape of impossibly lush green fields, ancient ruins, misty peat bogs, and for the angler, it's home to a predator, the pike. When a Shannon pike hits, it is an explosion of violence. There is no gentle take. It's a savage, lightning-fast strike that nearly rips the rod from your hands. The fight is ferocious and unpredictable. The water is so pure, so transparent, it has an aquamarine glow. Because the water is so clear, they can see you from a great distance. It's a game of stealth and presentation, making long, delicate casts with tiny artificial flies. The act of fishing here becomes a form of meditation. You are completely immersed in your surroundings. We leave the cool, clear mountains of Europe and head for the heat, humidity, and vibrant energy of the Florida Keys. This string of Coral Cay Islands, stretching out into the turquoise expanse where the Atlantic meets the Gulf of Mexico, is a paradise for anglers. The water here is alive, teeming with a diversity of game fish that is almost unparalleled. But one fish reigns supreme, a prehistoric beast of silver and chrome that inspires a fanatical devotion: the tarpon, the Silver King. Fishing for tarpon in the Keys is the pinnacle of saltwater flats fishing. It's a visual, heart-pounding hunt. You stand on the bow of a shallow water skiff as your guide pulls you silently across vast, sun-drenched flats. The water is often only a few feet deep, and you're not casting blind. You are sight fishing. You're scanning the water, looking for the dark shapes of cruising fish, the daisy chains of spawning tarpon, or the flash of a silver flank as a fish rolls on the surface to gulp air. It's an intense game of hide and seek. When you finally spot one, your heart leaps into your throat. The guide whispers directions. Tarpon, 11 o'clock, 60 feet, moving left to right. The moment the tarpon sees the bait and turns on it is one of the most exciting moments in all of fishing. The take is often surprisingly gentle, but what follows is pure chaos. The fish erupts from the water in a spectacular head-shaking leap, its gill plates rattling, trying to throw the hook. The fight is a brutal, drawn-out affair. These are incredibly powerful fish, often weighing over 100 pounds, and they test your stamina and your tackle to the absolute limit. But the Keys are more than just tarpon. The same flats hold the ghostly bonefish and the wily permit, completing the grand slam of flats fishing. The community here is vibrant and dedicated, a mix of legendary guides, seasoned locals, and anglers from around the world, all drawn by the siren call of these tropical waters. Fishing in the Keys is an addiction, a sun-drenched, salt-soaked obsession. From the tropical heat of Florida, we make a massive leap north to the last frontier, Alaska. Our destination is the Kenai River, globally renowned. Glacial blue water defines this river, home to the largest king salmon, the Chinook. These fish are biological marvels. They can exceed 80 pounds, even 90 pounds. The ultimate prize for salmon anglers. A river of breathtaking wilderness. It flows through dense spruce forests, snow-capped mountains, vast, untamed backcountry. You share the river with moose bald eagles and grizzly bears. It makes you feel profoundly alive. You're a participant in a natural drama. The King Run is the main event. The take is unmistakable. Not a tap, a heavy, determined pull. To fish the Kenai is to witness nature on a grand scale and to connect with a true giant of the salmon world. We return to Florida, but this time we venture inland, away from the salt and the sand, to a vast, shallow sea of fresh water known as Lake Okeechobee. The strike of an Okeechobee base is explosive. You're not fishing open water, pitching and flipping lures into dense thickets of reeds, casting frog baits over matted vegetation. The lake hosts some of the biggest bass fishing competitions in the country, drawing professional anglers who test their skills against the lake's legendary inhabitants. Our penultimate destination is a river of immense scale and power, a waterway that has shaped the history and geography of the Pacific Northwest, the mighty Columbia River. This river, which forms the border between Oregon and Washington, is home to a fish that is a living dinosaur. We are here for the white sturgeon. The sturgeon of the Columbia are true giants, capable of reaching lengths of over 15 feet and weighing more than 1,000 pounds. Seeing a fish that is 10, 12, or even 14 feet long launch its entire body out of the water is a sight that defies belief. It's awe-inspiring and, honestly, a little bit terrifying. It flows through dense spruce forests, snow-capped mountains, vast, untamed backcountry. You share the river with moose-bald eagles and grizzly bears. It makes you feel profoundly alive. You're a participant in a natural drama. The King Run is the main event. Anglers back troll from drift boats. The take is unmistakable. Not a tap, a heavy, determined pull. Then the bottom moves. The fish shows sheer, sullen power. A deep, dogged fight. Endurance and leverage. Not just kings. Massive sockeye runs turn the banks red. Shoulder-to-shoulder combat fishing. Locals simply call it the Big O. This is the second largest freshwater lake entirely within the United States. A massive, sprawling wetland ecosystem. Sawgrass, lily pads, cattails, a primeval landscape. the undisputed heartland of largemouth bass fishing. For bass anglers, Okeechobee is hallowed ground. The fishing here is all about cover. You're not fishing open water, pitching and flipping lures into dense thickets of reeds. The strike of an Okeechobee bass is explosive. A lure disappearing into a hole in the reeds is followed by a violent tug, and the challenge is to pull the powerful fish out of the thick cover before it can wrap your line and break off. The wildlife here is a constant companion. Alligators, some of them massive, cruise the channels, and the bird life is spectacular, wading birds hunting in the shallows. The lake hosts some of the biggest bass fishing competitions in the country, drawing professional anglers who test their skills against the lake's legendary inhabitants. This river, which forms the border between Oregon and Washington, is home to a fish that is a living dinosaur. Fishing for them is like trying to catch a submarine. It requires incredibly heavy tackle, specialized boats with anchor systems that can hold in the powerful current, and a deep respect for the power of the river. The bite is often surprisingly subtle, just a soft tapping sensation. When you set the hook, however, all subtlety vanishes. It feels like you have hooked the bedrock of the river itself. There is no give, just immense, immovable weight. Then, that weight begins to move, slowly at first, then with an unstoppable surge of power that can strip hundreds of yards of heavy braided line from the reel in seconds. The highlight of any sturgeon fight is the jump. The Columbia is also a world-famous salmon steelhead river, with runs that have sustained Native American tribes for thousands of years. The fishing traditions here are ancient. You can still see tribal fishermen using dip net scaffolds at places like Celilo Falls, practicing a tradition passed down through countless generations. To fish the Columbia is to feel the weight of that history. It's to connect with a river of epic proportions and to have the chance to battle a creature that is a true relic of a prehistoric world. Fishing on Lake Okeechobee is about connecting with the roots of American bass fishing, exploring a unique and vital wetland, and feeling that heart-stopping thump of a big bass inhaling your lure in the jungle-like cover. It feels wild, untamed. Alligators, some of them massive, cruise the channels, drawing professional anglers who test their skills against the lake's legendary inhabitants. Fishing on Lake Okeechobee is about connecting with the roots of American bass fishing, exploring a unique and vital wetland, and feeling that heart-stopping thump of a big bass inhaling your lure in the jungle-like cover. For our final location, we head to a wild, windswept strip of barrier islands off the coast of North Carolina, the Outer Banks. This place is known as the graveyard of the Atlantic for the thousands of shipwrecks that litter its treacherous shoals. It's a place of raw, untamed coastal beauty, towering sand dunes, historic lighthouses, and a relentless, pounding surf. For the angler, this dynamic environment offers a dizzying array of opportunities, from the surf to the deep blue of the Gulf Stream. One of the most iconic forms of fishing here is surf fishing. Anglers line the beaches, their long rods planted in sand spikes, casting baits out past the breaking waves. They're hoping for a bite from a big red drum, a striped bass, or even a shark cruising the shoreline. There's a special camaraderie among the surf fishermen, a shared experience of battling the wind and the waves, waiting for that rod to double over. But the real giants of the Outer Banks are found offshore. The proximity of the Gulf Stream creates a superhighway for pelagic predators. This is one of the best places in the world to target giant bluefin tuna. These are not just fish, they are torpedoes of muscle and speed, some weighing 500, 800, even over 1,000 pounds. Hooking one is like hooking a speeding car. The fights can last for hours, a brutal test of angler, captain, and tackle. The charter boat fleet out of places like Hatteras and Oregon Inlet is legendary, filled with captains who have dedicated their lives to pursuing these titans. The Outer Banks are steeped in a rich maritime and fishing history. The villages that dot the islands were built by fishermen, and that heritage is still alive and well. It's a place where you can feel the power of the ocean in every gust of wind and every crashing wave. Whether you're casting from the beach for a drum, trolling for marlin in the deep, or battling a giant bluefin, the Outer Banks offers a fishing experience that is as wild and unforgettable as the landscape itself. It's a fitting end to our journey, a place where the line between land and sea is constantly shifting. From the Arctic Circle to the Gulf Stream, from crystal-clear alpine rivers to the murky depths of a Spanish giant's lair, we've journeyed to some of the most incredible fishing destinations on the planet. Each one offers more than just a fish. It offers a story, a challenge, and a profound connection to the natural world. These are places that test your skill, your patience, and your strength. They are places of immense beauty and raw power, where the memories you make will last a lifetime, long after the ache in your muscles has faded. These waters hold a special magic. It's the thrill of the hunt, the explosive strike, the long, hard-fought battle. But it's also the quiet moments in between, the stillness of a misty Irish lough, the surreal light of the midnight sun, the camaraderie of fellow anglers sharing a common passion. It's about understanding the environment, respecting the quarry, and becoming part of a tradition that stretches back through generations. It's a reminder that there are still wild places left in the world, full of mystery and adventure, waiting to be explored. The world is full of water, and every body of water has its own secrets to tell. We've only scratched the surface. The ultimate catch is always the next one, and the greatest adventure is the one you haven't taken yet. These places are calling. So, which of these incredible fishing spots is on your bucket list? Is it the giant catfish of the Ebro, the king salmon of the Kenai, or the silver king of the Keys? Comment below and let us know. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more adventures from Everyday Essence. Tight lines.